What's up, guys? Chasing Laneway here with episode number 13 of our Haas American Dream series on F1 Manager 23. I know it's been a while. I apologise. Life got crazy. Anyway, let's get into it. Round 13, Belgium. Last round we did achieve 0 points. So if you want to go back and watch that one, please do. This weekend is a sprint weekend, so 2 races for the comeback to the series, as well as all that fun from the admin side. In terms of what we've missed, just to get you all caught up, if you're not watching this on the playlist, we do have to rebuild our cars because we don't have enough front wings for car 1 to have one, so I'm building one. And that will come in just before the Belgian Grand Prix. We also have no money, so I'm literally building one. It's a thing. In terms of other plans, I'm thinking to make some more money, I might have to replace the drivers, which could be a situation because there's no one good enough who's cheap enough. Kevin Magnussen, 1 year left on his contract. There's 1 year left on Nico Hulkenberg's contract. I've already replaced Pietro Fittipaldi. Yeah, it could be a thing. It could be a thing. Anyway, let's see what else pops up on our merry way to Belgium, to Spa. As I said, it's going to be very simple practice qualifying. We'll come back for the sprint race, then we'll come back for the main race. So we've manufactured our new front wing. I can finally have a whole car to send out on the track. That's always a good sign. Let's swap that one out, and hopefully they'll be happy we've got that. In fact, we can have that on both cars. There we go. Both cars can have the new one. That will do. We still don't have enough money for me to build more because that would be too easy. But we're going to make the best of it, make the best of what we've got here, and try and get ourselves a good result. That's what we're looking for. We're nowhere near the top of the Drivers' Championship. I haven't run through the standings with you. We should do that straight away. That's a good plan. So my brain has not been in recording. So constructors-wise, we are in 6th. We are 2 points behind Alpine, who sit in 5th. We have been in 5th most of the season, and we should be able to get ourselves back there, even though we can't develop the car. Drivers' Championship-wise, Nico Hulkenberg sits in at 9th in the Drivers' Championship, whereas you have to go all the way down to 12th to find Kevin Magnussen. So that's gone super well for all of us. And in terms of the fastest pit stop, we have had points, but we've not had many points because, frankly, we're just not that good at a fast pit stop. All our positions are made up on the track. Anyway, let's carry on going because you never know, some money might pop in. I might be able to get some manufacturing on the go. Crazier things have happened. Money has popped in. There we go. Can I manufacture some more front wings? That would be honestly the best thing for us to be able to do right now because we need them quite badly. We aren't researching or designing anything because I just don't have the money. The facility is shut down, so I can't even start the manufacture. Excellent, good stuff. Alright, good job. There's a summer break coming up, and we'll see what happens. Let's look at our performance targets for today. I need to consult the race preview. That's what I was going to say. Right. So let's look at car attributes in top speed, acceleration, high performance, which I feel like are things from memory we are good at. Should have looked at the analysis screen to begin with. They are things we are okay at. Okay. So I think I'm going to say we can get both cars in the top 10. I think we'll be bold with our predictions. We'll say we can get both cars in the top 10 for qualifying and for the race. Do we dare? I think we dare. I think we dare go for it because we need the money. We just need to be able to perform to the best of our ability. But if we can make that happen, then I will be quite happy. So we'll do that. We'll take all the rewards we can. We're going to guarantee at least one car in the top 10. I think that's the way forward. Because, you want to account for one of our cars may not finish. So let's not promise the earth. Let's just promise enough. And hopefully we can get some money to come through the door. Guarantees. I think we're going to do a qualifying position streak of both drivers in the top 15 for the next 5 races. I think we can achieve that. That feels doable. I mean, it should be very possible, but let's not go too far. And in the inbox, there is just some race prep. So we've got circuit info. We know what we need to do there, and we've had a design centre fire. We have essentially being shut down for some days, and hopefully things will start to come in. We'll see what happens. It's fine. Right, without any further ado, I will see you after qualifying and practice. So we've got qualifying in the books then, and Fernando Alonso has taken pole for the sprint race. Carlos Sainz next to him. Verstappen and Perez on the second row. Leclerc in fifth. Hulkenberg in sixth. And Magnussen in seventh. Gasly, Ocon, Stroll make up the rest of the top 10. We've got Russell, Albon with a grid penalty, Piastri, Hamilton, Sargent, Tsunoda, Norris, Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, and Nick De Vries, of course, making up the back. And without any further ado, I'm going to take a quick jump here, and we're going to get you into the sprint race.
Hello and welcome as our Grand Prix weekend continues, and the sprint will soon be upon us. And whilst qualifying has already established today's starting grid, the results of the sprint will determine the lineup for the Grand Prix itself.
It's not only the starting grid decided here though. The top finishers in the sprint have the chance to score crucial championship points.
Well, teams will need to be clever. There's no time to relax. It's the sprint around Spa.
So it's ready for the Saturday sprint race then. We've got all the practice sessions out the way. It is just time to get ourselves further into the weekend here. And we're looking good tyre-wise. It wants us to do the whole thing on mediums, which feels excessive, especially because the sprint race is, 15 laps? And I feel like we can probably get a set of softs that far. Let's have a little look. A set of softs will go that far, so I don't know why we would use a set of mediums. I guess there's probably some grip advantage, but I don't see it. I think we're going to go with the usual levels of fuel. I think what we'll do, we'll save up fuel for the end of the race and really push to offset any tyre deg. Let's look at strategy on this one, just to make sure we know what we're doing here. That will be roughly the same. Good stuff. Okay, no chance of rain today as well, which is really, really nice. That will save us some problems later on. I am very, very sure of that. We're all looking good from a car setup point of view. I don't know why it's not changed that when I changed the tyres. There we go. Let's go with those tyres. They'll be fine. And hopefully we can get a good result here. I'm feeling it today. Driver options wise, we are going to, of course, do the big DRS push from the start. Going to keep things fairly civil with the pace, I think. At least for now, I know we're going to be able to use up the tyres at the end of the race. Again, it's all going to be about offsetting towards the end, I think. We just want to stay in touch for now, and then we can offset towards the end. We'll have a little check, of course, just to see what we can do. It might be that the logical strategy speed-wise is to push on a set of mediums all the way through, but I am sort of thinking about tyre temps. That's going to be an issue, so we need to keep that in mind. I mean, a light push, that will do that. Let's try it. Let's see how that looks versus the bigger push on the medium, because those are probably going to go full push out for the whole race. Apparently that's faster. That's curious. Sure, let's split a strategy. Let's try that. Let's try splitting a strategy. We'll see how it looks on the other side of the garage as well. See which one gets us the best time on which tyres. Just out of curiosity, because it's always best to give in a little bit to curiosity if you can. So let's see what we can do here. That's going to be a medium stint to be on a slightly aggressive stint, and that will be a hard push to the end. See who does best with the tyres. So that's going to be that. I think what we'll do is we're going to put Magnus on the mediums, and we're going to put Hulkenberg on the hards. On the softs. We're going to try just splitting the strategy. We'll go with the big push for pace. We're not going to worry too much about fuel, because that should be fine. We'll have to manage it anyway, because I think if we try and do 15 laps on full push, we'll probably find ourselves actually in trouble. Let's see how that goes. Let's just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? Let's hand back to Kroon and Crofty.
15 long and challenging laps await the drivers in today's sprint here at Spa.
And once the lights go out here at Spa, the attention will shift to the first corner, a turn that has seen its fair share of dramatic incidents over the years.
Well then, folks, it's time to get going. Here we are, the sprint around Spa-Francorchamps. And it's lights out.
Okay, so lights out, away we go then. We are underway for this sprint race. We're going to drop the engine sounds as far down as we can, just so you can hear what's going on. And into the first corner, we've already gained a position with Hulkenberg. That's a good start for us. Or have we lost a position with Leclerc? I was paying attention. I wasn't trying to sort out a sound issue at all. Powertrain-wise, we've got an issue there with the ERS. That's worrying. I'll probably change that before the race. Take that grid penalty and hope that works out for us. Let's go with a high overtake aggression though, because that's going to be important to get us some cars past our cars, and hopefully we'll get our cars past other cars. I can English. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's do it. Let's get this done. I think we can go on board here. We're going to fight with Leclerc in the Ferrari. We're going to try and keep our nose in past him. It's going to take us a little while to get these get this burn through, I think, because I feel like that Ferrari might be actually faster than us, not just looking faster than us at this stage in the Grand Prix. We might be looking for best of the rest. George Russell has had a crash on turn 9. He's slipped right to the back. Hasn't brought a safety car though, so that's going to be fine for now. We are just going to hold on and see what we can do. I think George Russell may be out of the running for this one. That's going to at least protect us a little bit from being caught in a way we didn't want to be caught with our pants down. So we're going to keep this pushing. I hope for the best, actually. I think what we can do is probably keep up. We'll see how close our cars are together. They're looking good so far. That gap's not really coming down rapidly. We should be within DRS range and able to pick up some spots, which is going to help immensely. We should get DRS activated now as Alonso leads us across the line for the end of the first lap. DRS activated. We will see how this plays out for us down the back of the first or the long straight, and hopefully that will lead to good things. That's what I'm going to say. We are going to have to try and stay in touch though. That's going to be the real issue. We are keeping an eye on the tyre temperatures as well, just to make sure we are all good as we go for our first attempt at DRS. Can we get ourselves back onto the back of Leclerc? He is being dropped a little bit by Perez. May drop himself out. George Russell has had a pit stop issue just to compound his misery. He's already had a crash. Let's see how badly it went for him on his pit stop. He's had issues where the car's not been released properly. He hadn't, to be fair, at the point Carew diagnosed the car hadn't been released properly. He hadn't actually finished fitting the new front wing. So that's probably not helped his pit stop drama. He is going to be a long way behind. He may even get himself lapped at this race. Sainz has passed Alonso up ahead. We should be quick enough to catch Alonso, to be fair. We are just trying to keep ourselves in the hunt. We'll see how that goes. Magnussen is in trouble right now. Let's go off board with Magnussen onto the TV cam, just to see how that looks, because he is going to be in trouble very, very shortly. He's not having the fight. I mean, he is having an ERS issue. That is fair enough, but he should still be able to stay reasonably in touch with Hulkenberg. He shouldn't be getting dropped like this, you would think, especially given that he is pushing his tyres to the absolute maximum today. But apparently we are going to be under threat from the Alpines this weekend. That's going to be an interesting battle. I feel bad for George Russell, by the way. He's going to start the Grand Prix dead last after a respectable-ish qualifying. Not really the way he wants to go. Magnussen is overheating his tyres just a touch. Let's go to aggressive just to bring them down, because there's no point overheating his tyres. He'll be a sitting duck coming out of some of the corners. If he gets too much temperature, you can see Gasly pushing him through that corner. Really not going well for him. I think what we're going to have to try and do here is to give him the benefit of push. We will start to go on the neutral for Hulkenberg's ERS though, because there's no point pushing if he's not catching up to Leclerc immediately. He doesn't need to stay in touch with him. I'll just happily take points from this race. That would do us nicely. As a starting point for the season, we do have to try and keep Magnussen ahead of Gasly, so that's why we're going to give a little bit more push, a little bit more fuel, a little more everything, just whatever it takes to keep him in the running today, because that's going to be key. It is not the warmest day. I mean, it's not freezing, but it's not the warmest day in Belgium today. So That's worth bearing in mind. Also, of course, Spa rain can occur at any given moment. That's just how that tends to go. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Magnussen is coming into negative fuel. That's going to be a problem. But let's give Hulkenberg the benefit of some fuel. Let's give Magnussen the. In fact, we'll let him keep the benefit of his fuel, just to see what we can do. How we're going to get past here. It looks like by the Alpine of Gasly, he's in a fight now. Can we stay ahead? It's not looking likely. It's going to come down to who breaks last at the apex of the bus stop. But of course, Gasly is on the soft tyres, so it may come back to us later on. That could be an issue here. I think this could be a race. Let's have a look at what's going on tyre-wise. It could be an issue where Magnussen might actually be in a better position than it looks, because he should be able to hold on to his tyres a little bit longer. I've just realised that Hulkenberg is probably taking a little bit too much out of his tyres for now. So we'll also bear that in mind. Just try and keep things steady if we can. We are out of the DRS. That's not going to help us at all. Let's go back to a neutral on both of these things, see what that looks like. And in fact, I might just maybe. In fact, let's not cool off the tyres just yet. Let's see how things look. We're in a bit of a stalemate right now. It's a yellow flag from somewhere. Was that our car going around? I don't think it was. Who has caused the yellow flag? And oh, that's Alonso. He's had a moment. That's not going to be a good thing for anyone to see here. What's happened here? Have they come together? They've not. He's just kind of lost it trying to hold on around the outside. And that will have caused problems, unfortunately, for Fernando Alonso. So I guess we will take advantage of that extra position where we can. We're going to have to, because we've got no real choices. Has a wire safety car, though, so that's a positive. It looks like we have Alonso going from pole for the sprint to starting near the back for the Grand Prix. He will get on the track ahead of Russell, but that was kind of a given, because Russell is very much out of the running for anything today. I don't think he'll even manage to catch up Alonso if Alonso has to make a pit stop. So that's going to be a problem for the Aston team, I suppose. But let's just see what we can do. Assume this forward, because there's not a massive amount happening in the sprint race. We'll be completely honest. Not a lot has happened. Magnussen has lost some places, as I've said there, which is perhaps problematic. I thought this race would start coming back to us towards the end. It hasn't really done that. Maybe it's time to just really push these tyres and try and get us back into it as best we can. Hope for something to happen. He should be able to get us back close to Stroll. Hopefully, as we get back to the Kemmel Straight. We are sort of in a train now. We're head and tail of the train, but we're in a train. That could play in our favour if we're very lucky. Let's see how people are using their tyres right now, because that's going to be another factor. We're okay. We're not too bad. We should be able to keep things together a little bit. I'm aware Magnussen's tyres are going to overheat if he tries to push them too hard here. Let's tell Hulkenberg to deploy, push on, do his best. In fact, we've not battle assisted either of our drivers. I forgot about battle assisting mode because it's been a few weeks. But let's battle assist our drivers, see if that helps them out in any way, shape or form, because that will be nice to have that benefit. We'll see how that goes. We'll go on board with Kevin Magnussen just to see how things look from his point of view behind Lance Stroll, behind the Alpines. He very much does need to start making something happen here, because we need to get more points than Alpine throughout this weekend, and we're not currently going to achieve that, which is really a problem. So we are going to have to do something better. I'm just trying to do the maths in my head. We'd be equal on points if we get past Stroll. We are, as I said, waiting for the medium tyres to sort of come back to us a little bit. Everyone else on the track has gone on the softs, which was my first instinct. I don't know why I second guessed it, but I guess we just have to make the best of things here. We are honestly desperately in need of some form of safety car assistance. Let's deploy the ERS we've got. Let's deploy the fuel we've got just because we can, and see if we can keep ourselves or get ourselves back in touch down the Kemmel Straight. We do think we need to get ourselves there. We don't think lifting coast is necessary. Well, that's good to know. We are going to go back to aggressive on our tyres, because that's going to be a help to keep us ahead of Gasly. For the rest of the race, which is what we need to do, we need to actually hopefully build a gap, break that DRS, which will help Magnussen, if he can stay within DRS, to get involved in the race. That's what we're really trying to achieve here. Let's zoom forward, because nothing is really happening right now. We're faster through the twisty technically bits. We're just not very good anywhere else on the track, is what we're learning. We certainly don't have the top speed today, which will not be helping us at all. Hulkenberg does need to break that gap, though, so we're going to have to tell him to behave himself and just kind of push himself away, because if he doesn't break the toe to Ocon, we're in trouble. It looks like Stroll is trying to overtake Gasly. That could be good for us if we can also get past Gasly. Who's doing what's tyre-wise right now is the big question, and tyre-wise, it looks like we're going to be in trouble first with Hulkenberg, and in trouble last with Magnussen, so that should be fine. Hopefully we can make that stick. We are going to have a little look, see what we can do with our tyres for the rest of the race. We are probably still on track for an aggressive, but not a hard, not a big push. That's fine. Honestly, if we can get some points today, that's a good thing, and if we can somehow outscore Alpine, that's a better thing. Magnussen just not really pushing too well to get himself up there. I don't know if it's just his tyres are dead or overheated. Let's just drop that down for a second. Let's go to a standard. Not overuse our tyres, not take too much out of them. And we're going to try and see if that helps him push back up. He should get there, because he's definitely better in the technical bits. Someone had something happen. That was Lance Stroll had an off, so he's at a spin. Let's have a look at that. That puts us back in contention with the Alpines for now. That's a horrifying place to have a spin. At least they've got, apparently, the animation where they just drive into the back of a wall for no reason. So that's a good thing. We've been passed by Ocon. Okay, we are now Noah's Ark 2x2 with the Alpines, and that's not going to help us much at all. Let's save some fuel for young Nico Hulkenberg and try and deploy something just to get ourselves up and past, or up and with Mr. Ocon. That should do us nicely. Let's try and get ourselves on track here. We've got to get ourselves back into contention. Hulkenberg should be looking for an overtake now-ish. Where's he going to go with the late braking? Does he have the late braking here? Not quite the gap there. We will try and get back in touch. Yellow flag out there. Gasly's had a spin. That's helped us. There we go. We are now, in theory, quick mass outscoring the Alpines, or equally scoring the Alpines. Well, we've got to get past him. Let's just pass him, and we'll work out the maths after the real race. That's the way to do it. Okay, so 3.5 laps to go, give or take. We are well out of touch with the leaders, but Ocon is all that stands between us and some big points. I think we can do it. We just have to find our way through. How are we doing tyre-wise? We're doing okay there. K-Mag, we can afford to blast the tyres because he's got nothing to lose. He just needs to get himself onto the back of Magnussen, to be honest. We had a little look there, maybe, at Ocon. Didn't quite find it. Magnussen's been passed by Stroll. He's back in a battle with Stroll, recovering from that spin. Can we get past him here, though? You'd like to think we can. Have his tyres suffered from that spin? They have a lot. That's going to help us as we come up through the Camel Straight. Can we get ourselves past Stroll here and get ourselves back into the points with the DRS? That's going to be the real key. I know we should be watching the battle for 5th, but I feel like there's more of a chance of an overtake here. It's not quite on. We're definitely down on power on the straights. We're not looking great on the straights. For power is a thing I think we've learned today. We are just sort of holding on. Magnussen should be able to get something out of this, we would hope. Let's carry on zooming forward just to see how that gap shakes down as we go into a battle now with Lance Stroll coming through the bus stop. Made it through. Can we hold on? Hopefully they'll both stay on track. They have stayed on track. There is 2 laps to go, I believe, on the race. And we are in battle with Lance Stroll. We've let him go, but he's binned it. Absolutely binned it again, Lance Stroll. And we are safe now. We are looking good. Let's have another look at that lockup. I was worried we'd come together then that we were going to get a penalty, but it does look like it did look like just a normal lock-up. He did just try and brake a little bit too late, and I think that's probably going to cost him any life he had in the tyres, any chance he had of coming back. So that, from that point of view, we are good, and I think Hulk can now have a little bit of a big push just to try and get himself past Ocon. We'll give him the benefit of the ERS deployment. That should work out nicely. This is going to be a really long episode, guys. I'm sorry, but sometimes you just have to with a sprint race weekend. Let's see how things look from on board on Hulkenberg's car. He should be able to get past here with the big push. He's having a go on Ocon. Can he make it work? We're going through the technical section, that no-name corner, I believe. Going up through here, can we keep ourselves ahead? We are staying ahead so far. I mean, the battle off-board will be probably better. Hulkenberg claiming success in that battle. It looks like he has made it stick, and he just needs to keep things going. We are going to go back to a neutral to reserve some of that ERS for the end of the race. But clear air now. Hopefully we can start building a gap. We're on the final lap as Sainz crosses the line for the last time in this race. Before the checkered flag, George Russell is back involved. Alonso's had a nice recovery back to 15th. Considering he's on a bit of a tear, he might be in a position to get himself points at the Grand Prix after all, which would be nice for him. We are starting the last lap. We can go full battle now with Ocon, hopefully. That's what we're going to have to try and do. We have to use all of our ERS deployment in this lap for both cars anyway, just because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. But this is really the last chance, I think, for Ocon to get past us. Is going to be under DRS here. I was hoping we'd drop him back into Hamilton. We haven't quite done that. Magnussen should be safe in that final point paying position. In fact, having said that, let's just drop him down to a neutral, preserve some stuff. That would be very helpful. We are looking okay. We're looking okay. Hulkenberg is staying ahead, and we'll hopefully manage to stay ahead for the rest of the lap and take 5th. This will put us above Alpine again, I believe, in the points table, and that will be very helpful going into the Grand Prix itself, into the summer break. We do want to try and stay ahead of Alpine. We are doing our best to achieve that, and things are hopefully looking very, very nice for us as we come into the last sector, I believe, starts here, give or take. We are looking okay. We are just going to come through Blanchimont. We're going to go and just hopefully power it home for some points as Sainz is about to cross the line from Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, and we will bring in with a 10-second gap. They're so far ahead of us, the leaders. It's almost obscene, to be honest. Ocon has just sort of let himself trail off, fall back a little bit, just taking it easy to bring it home, as Hulkenberg comes home for 5th, and Magnussen should come home for a nice 8th place. That has gone very well for us, and I guess that's a great time to hand us all back to Kroon and Crofty after all the cars cross the line.
Kevin Magnussen there, finishing today's sprint amongst the points.
There will definitely be some lessons to learn for them, but this was solid work.
So, confirmation of your sprint results then. 8 points for Carlos Sainz for taking the victory. Verstappen takes 2nd. Leclerc 3rd for 6th. 6 points, Perez gets 4th for 5 points. Hulkenberg gets 4 points for us. Ocon 3 for Alpine. Hamilton 2 for Mercedes. And Magnussen gets himself a point for us as well, which quick math leaves us 1 point behind Alpine in the Constructors.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Motor car racing didn't have the best of starts at Spa-Francorchamps. Only one driver registered for the very first car race back in 1921, so a motorbike race replaced it instead. Times have changed, and now Spa is a solid fixture on the F1 calendar. We've been having sunny weather here today, but there are some clouds looming that might complicate things for teams further down the line.
Well, no one can ever predict what will happen at Spa-Francorchamps, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be eventful.
Okay, so I'm led to believe there is no chance of rain for today's race, but you never know with Spa. It is possible. We'll see how things go. Let's set up our strategy for the race. Apparently we can just take a set of Haas at the end. That would be an interesting choice of strategy, leading to some points deductions and whatnot. We've got car parts damage, so let's switch out that ERS. I think we will take a penalty for doing this. We definitely will have to buy a part, which I don't want to do because I can't afford to, but take the pain now, maybe. Feels like we're going to have to take the pain both financially and we should get it back from the race. Let's do it. Let's just take the penalty. Let's take the pain. We are going to need it anyway for some stage during the season. We may as well take it now at a track where you can pass. Feels like a better place to do it. Let's just make sure all of our other parts in the car are absolutely fine. They're not great, but they'll do for now. Right, let's have a look at strategy then, shall we? Because that's going to be what's important. Strategy today, we are going to say start there, see which one works out quicker. I think probably that's not the worst shout in the world. Start on soft, and then if things go badly or we get a safety car at any point, we can switch to hards. Although, having taken that grid penalty, my thinking might be, do we go as long as possible and see where we can get? Let's play it safe. We're going to play it safe. We're going to go with the fastest strategy available for each car and hope for the best. Wants me to 2-stop. I don't think that'll be a problem. What we are going to do is we're going to bring that pit stop a little bit earlier because there's no sense in wearing that tyre that thin if we've got some medium to play with. So we'll just drop that pit stop a couple of notches further forward, and that hopefully will work out for us. Like I said, we get a safety car at any point in the race. We know from what we've seen on the grass we can go pretty much the whole race distance. That shouldn't be a problem. Fuel wise, I think we can probably drop a lap of fuel, and driving wise we're going to go fully RS just to make sure we get everything done as rapidly as possible. And likewise, we are going to do the same on this side of the garage because there's no point in us using all of our fuel or taking too much fuel into the start. We can get a good launch and hopefully we'll be fine. Okay, so having said that, let's get ourselves into the Belgian Grand Prix. I'll hand you over to Karun and Crofty again.
We've got 44 laps ahead of us here in Spa as we get ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. Nick de Vries certainly has the potential to show his worth here.
It's a P17 grid start for them in this race, but maybe they can get through the pack cleanly and move up the field.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. Get ready, it's the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and
so we're lights out, away we go then for the Belgian Grand Prix proper. This time we will jump on board with Kevin Magnussen because he is going to be hopefully making some big gains today. Let's do an overtake aggression thing for both drivers just to make sure we are getting the absolute best out of them in terms of their performance. And we're going to try and push the battle assist button early because we'll remember this time. We have remembered this time. And hopefully we can start to get some places up the grid. I'm not going to keep an eye directly on Hulkenberg today purely because I do think that it's going to come down to Magnussen being the man making the big moves early on, and we know we can kind of hover around that mid-pack way at this stage. We've done it a few times before. We've had a few experiences of doing that, so I'm not going to stress too much over whether or not we can pull it off. We're just going to try and make our best hopes happen here. And I think we can. I think we can do it. We're right behind Piastri. The two McLarens have found a way into the points, which I think might be the first time this season. They certainly haven't been scoring big points this season. So they are clearly improving, just like they did in real life in the 2023 season. I don't know if they're going to improve to the level they did do when they came back. I think was it after the summer break with an absolute rocket of a car. They came back and it was unbelievable. It looks like Hulkenberg's in a battle with Hamilton. Let's go and watch that for a second because Magnussen's achieving nothing. In fact, Hamilton, Gasly and Hulkenberg seem to be in a battle. We haven't even got DRS open and available to us yet. And already they're having a little fight over things, which is good. We have Ocon just ahead of us as well, so we're falling behind the Alpines in the early going. That's not too big a problem. Somehow the track grip and the track rubber has dropped overnight, so it must have rained as well, which is not going to help with things. Neither will that, as Hulkenberg decides to take the longest way around. He could have kept going there. I don't know why he didn't. And Hulkenberg has binned his own race for reasons I don't fully understand. That was helpful of him. He could have just kept his foot down. Maybe that's another area the developers need to look into things on this. Because realistically, yeah, he went deep, but he could have kept going there. He would have gone over the runoff and just kept his foot in and should have come out in sort of 11th or 12th, you would think there. But there we go. That's life, and we'll stay on board with Magnussen, who I did predict would be the guy making the big moves this afternoon. And he's going to have to. Hulkenberg is now going to have to make some big moves too, because he's behind. He's behind Zhou Guanyu. There's a yellow flag out there for something. I don't know who spun this time, hoping it wasn't a Hulkenberg again. I guess we'll find out. It wasn't a Hulkenberg this time, was it? Sonoda had a spin this time. Okay, good. We've got a car behind us. We're overtaking by pure failure from other people. That's gone really well. Okay. Well, at least we know we can keep ourselves entertained with some drama out there today. Hulkenberg should make his way back through the field, I would think. I would like to get that safety car to really kind of hammer it home. If it comes out at the right time, we'll be in a really good place. But we're not quite there yet. We are going to try and hold these tyres on as close to the end of their life cycle as we can. I think Hulkenberg is probably going to have to make a tactical switch, we'll call it, to probably coming in early for Haas either way, because, yeah, otherwise he's got no chance. We'll see how it goes. Right, we're going to roll things forward, roll the clock forward a little bit, because we are, as much as Hulkenberg coming through from the back should be a joy to watch, he is going to have to come in early for his pit stop, get onto a set of hards. He will be one of the big winners from a safety car for sure, because it would give him the opportunity to lose as little time as possible, maybe jump some cars in the pit cycle on his way through. It looks like he's just struggling to get past Guan Yu Zhou at the moment, which is probably slightly concerning. He should be making his way past. Hopefully he'll make his way past either through here or on the Camel Straight. We'll stay on board before we go back into zoom mode. Let's neutralise the ERS usage because we don't have enough to justify it. Let's see what we can do. Can we get past under ERS, or are we actually that underpowered in the straights? He's got medium tyres on as well, so we should be able to get him on traction. We'll have a go here around the outside. We are not going to be able to hold our nose in, or are we? Are we holding our nose in? Looks like we can do. Can we get the power down? Get ourselves through here on the inside. We are holding on. Cars are very close for comfort, but Hulkenberg's made that move stick. Hopefully that will start to bring his confidence back, although Zhou's coming back at us. It's going to be very, very close, this one to the line. Let's go off board, because then we can see things properly, see how things are shaking out. And Zhou gets the inside line here through this double left-hander. But we should hopefully be able to hold on coming out here. We have held on coming out here, and we have got ourselves ahead of Zhou Guanyu. We can get onto the back of Nick de Vries. Meanwhile, K-Mag just kind of riding up onto the back of Piastri, hoping for the best here. But I feel like he's got a slightly harder field to plough here, because this is really battling with the faster teams on the grid. He is staying at least in touch with Piastri. I don't know if that bodes well or not, but we'll see how it goes. We are going to see if he can get things done here through La Source. Are we going to do it up the inside? We're having a go. Bit of an ambitious, bold look, but he's put his foot down. He's pressed the ERS button. He's going to go for it. We have made the move stick. We're past, and when I say we're past, we have got the joy of DRS to come up to see if we can hold on. But I don't know if we were definitely not behind at the activation point. That's got to be said. So Piastri's going to come back at us. This could be a battle for the ages. We are going to try and close down on Norris at the same time. There's a yellow flag out there somewhere. I don't know who stopped. Multiple cars crashed. This could be a thing for us to keep an eye on. Something's happened in Sector 2. Let's see who was involved in the multiple car crash. That looks like Hamilton and Gasly. And they've come together. I mean, it's not going to dramatically affect Hamilton's race. But he's probably going to need a new front wing. which is going to help us out. We're not going to get the safety car from it, but it will have helped out with the race for Gasly for certain, I would say. That should be fine. That's going to help us out because Hamilton will have dropped right back down. He dropped down behind George Russell. Of course, had that horrible situation happen to him in the pit stop phase, Hamilton is, I think, going to come just ahead of Tsunoda. He's lost a lot of time there. That's gone badly for him. Magnussen up into P8 though, with very little to stress about. We're going to drop him down to neutral, let him carry on battle assisted with Piastri and Norris. He should catch up to the back of Norris even without ERS. You would think he would make his way back up and we can get ourselves back into the fight with the Alpines, which is where we really need to be focusing our time. Let's zoom things forward because Hulkenberg's still having his little fight through. There's been an investigation of some kind, no penalties given, but Hamilton's come in for his new front wing. Well behind, Magnussen going for an overtake now on Norris as we come back to the action. Good stuff. Let's stay on board, ride that through. Hopefully that will be one and done and stuck. It's looking like we're going to do the same thing we did with Piastri, showing they are probably on par with us. We have made that stick a little bit earlier than we did with Piastri, which is nice. Overtake successful. Now we just need to try and chase down the Alpines, knowing we are probably fairly even on pace with them. If we're completely honest, we're probably fairly even on pace with the Alpines. So, it's not going to be an immediate one. It's going to be a slow burn, can we get there kind of situation. And again, we're going to go to quick zoom time. Hulkenberg trying to chase down Bottas. Magnussen trying to catch up with Gasly whilst battling Norris, which is going to be the real issue. He seems to have broken the issues with Norris now, broken the DRS. And is starting to pull himself away. I'm keeping an eye on his tyres because that's going to be a really key factor in this race. We are 33 laps to go, so a quarter race distance. And we are going to need to have multiple cars crashed. Hulkenberg is involved somehow. Let's see how that looks on the replay, see what happened there. Looking like we've not sustained damage as far as I can tell. Let's see what's gone on here. We've gone around the outside at turn 5 on presumably Bottas. He's just kind of clipped us and taken a spin. We seem to have maintained position, which is nice. Let's hope we're not going to get any penalties from that. We'll do a quick damage check just to make sure we are still on track. Make sure we've not harmed any tyres or anything of that nature, because that will be important. It's harmed his confidence, but that's not the biggest issue for me. Tyre wise, we're okay. We're looking good on all of the air. We're okay. We're good. Okay, we can carry on. We've bullied our way through. It's not been spectacular. It's been a decision that was made. not what I necessarily would think of as a good one, but it's been a decision that was made. What we're doing tyres-wise compared to teams around us. Magnussen's better on tyres than Stroll. Hulkenberg definitely worse on tyres than the guys around him. A penalty has been assessed on Hulkenberg, which is going to harm us. I think we're going to have to try and hope for some kind of safety car situation to come in, hold on as long as we possibly can on these tyres, and really kind of just hope we get something good out of here. Magnussen has taken a place from Alonso, I think has just come in for a pit stop. I think that's what we will have to take from that. No, he hasn't. He's just in a battle with Alonso, which shows how messed up this grid has been, because Alonso was well out of it by the end of the sprint race. And yet somehow he's been overtaken by Alonso there. Let's have a look at the onboard at the replay. See, well, that was just a straight DRS. Nice and easy. He's found his way past. Lance Stroll is going to be swarming us as well. So this does raise the question, are we going to try and look for an undercut here? Probably is the answer to that question. We'll probably try and look for an undercut. What are we doing on tyre strategy here? We are okay for both cars, or we're a long way off on a long way away from a pit stop. We may actually go in for hards and try and take advantage that way. But as I said, I was sort of been playing for a pit stop. I think that's been for a safety car. I think that's been the smartest way forward. Magnussen has been dropped by Alonso. We've entered the pit window. Now would be a great moment for us to get that safety car. That would help us out a lot. because it's going to try and make me double stack them as well. Yellow flag came out, but nothing came of it. We're up into 14th with Hulkenberg in a battle with Russell. I think there's probably been some pit stoppery in there somewhere. We are opening our pit window. I'm just thinking we may as well come in now at the end of this lap with Hulkenberg, save some face a little bit, go onto those tyres that should go the entire distance. We're a little bit early, but we'll make it work. I believe in us. If we have to switch to a 2-stop, we will switch to a 2-stop. We'll take the time penalties, we'll take the new tyres, we will burn off whatever's left on these tyres on the way in, and in fact we are going to go to full deploy on the ERS, get ourselves as good an in-lap as we can. We will do the same, in fact, with Magnussen, well, not tyres, we'll do the same with the ERS burning, because Magnussen is in a fight with Stroll. Alonso is in, Leclerc is in. We are having to try and overcut Alonso, which is going to be a real issue for us. But I think we can do it. I think we've got something available to us to make that work. We'll see how it goes. Let's jump on board with Hulkenberg, who is about to come in for his pit stop. Hopefully, it'll be a good, clean one after everything else we've gone through. We'll have a good, clean pit stop. Let's see how this shakes out there. We're coming into the box. I would like to get a sub 8 second pit stop from stationary with the penalty. That would be the dream here. Whether or not we can put it off is questionable, but if we can, we'll be in a good position. Let's see how things go. We're into the box, we're stopped, we're serving the penalty. Hopefully we'll get straight into action the second we hit 5 seconds. We probably got into action a little bit before we hit the 5 seconds, if we're being completely honest there, but it's a 7.5 second pit stop. That will do us nicely, and we can start working our way back through the field. Kevin Magnussen is out there as well. His pit window is open. He's on the back of Lance Stroll, which is nice to see. We've not really saved as much fuel as I thought we would have done by this stage in the race. I've just done a quick math in my head. I don't necessarily think we're going to make it to the end on just this lighter fuel load, but we'll try our best, of course. Anyway, we're piling our way forward. Hulkenberg out on his fresh tyres should be lapping significantly faster than Zhou Guanyu. Who's come in so far is the big question. Hamilton, Russell, Alonso and Leclerc are the only cars who have come in. So, presumably we're going to follow Stroll into the box, is the plan here. I imagine Stroll is coming in this lap. If he isn't, then something has gone awfully wrong. Zhou Guanyu should be coming in this lap to free Hulkenberg up. Let's have a look. Is Stroll coming in? He's not. He's staying out. Okay, good. I thought we were going to try and. So in fact, you know, I might take a little gamble here. Let's assume Hulkenberg is coming in. Sorry, that Stroll is coming in. Let's assume he's coming in, but I'm going to leave it until the very last minute to book in the pit stop, because I don't want to see our pit crew out in the lane and get a jump on us. I think that would be a mistake. Of course, we pass him here, we'll just book it in, because he will be able to follow us in regardless. Are we going to do it under braking? We are going to do it under braking. We're looking good. That is strong, and we are through, and we are going to try and get that pit stop done now. Get it done a little bit early, but I think that's going to make all the difference. I think that could make all the difference to our race today. If we can get this pit stop done early, get ourselves boxed out. I've just realised I've left Hulkenberg out burning his tyres, so we'll go back to standard on those. That was smart. I've done well. Okay. We'll keep that going. We're going to try and burn away into the box, and hopefully there are spoils to be had here, and we are trying to undercut the Alpines is my big issue, and we're 10 seconds adrift of them with all the fighting and the spinning and the drama we've had. So that's going to be an issue too. It's going to be, one of the Alpines I would assume is coming in this lap. I would assume Ocon, because logic, but we'll see what happens here. Let's have a look on the tree, on the timing tree. No one is coming in. Neither of the Alpines has come in by the looks of things. Okay, so we're going to be the first ones in the box. Let's get down to standard, ready to be released. And hopefully a good pit stop. Stroll is following us in, like I thought. I assumed he probably would try and follow us on strategy. Norris also doing the same thing. That will release Alonso to go and get some clear air and start chasing down Leclerc again. but I'd like us to come out in front of these three. That would be the dream. We just need a good, solid, clean pit stop, and it looks like we've got one. For 2.5 is pretty good. Where's that going to fall on the fastest pit stop rankings, though? Probably very low, to be honest, because that's where we usually are. We're out in front of the three, and Norris has had a pit stop issue, and we don't know where we are on the fastest laps. Are we going to get any indication anywhere? I don't think there is a screen for that. I mean, it doesn't matter much for points. I don't think there's any money in it, but it would be nice to achieve something. Anyway, Hulkenberg's been released by Bottas coming into the box as well. That's good. That's going to work out really nicely for us. Magnussen is now free to try and chase down Alonso on his fresher tyres, which hopefully he'll show some ability to do. We'll try and zoom ourselves forward. I've just realised Hulkenberg probably needs to be saving his ERS a little bit, so we'll do that. Magnussen just needs to try and stay ahead of Stroll. There's a yellow flag out there. Hulkenberg has spun, absolutely binned it. That's probably going to confirm him needing to come in for a 2-stop, unfortunately, and has put us in some trouble. If we're being completely honest, that's put us in some trouble for the rest of the race with Hulkenberg. It's all on Kevin Magnussen to secure points now, which is something that I'm terrified of having to say, but it is the way it's going to go. Stroll and Alonso are firmly staying between us and the Alpines, who do appear to be trying to go as long as possible here. They're on kind of the reverse strategy. They're going to come back stronger on us towards the end. That's okay. That's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. We'll see how that works out for them, but we are going to do our best. Right, let's drop Magnussen up to neutral on the ERS because we can't really afford to be using any. We're going to try and see how things shake out. Hulkenberg has come in. We are really hoping for a safety car here would really help, because I can get both drivers on a fresh set of mediums to the end from here. Assuming I've got a fresh set, I should have a fresh set of mediums hiding somewhere. If I can get both drivers on a fresh set of mediums here to the end, I would be in an absolutely ridiculous position to score some points out of this. We will, of course, see how it goes, but we should be able to make something happen. Perez had a pit stop issue. We can just keep zooming forward. We're gaining and losing nothing simultaneously. How's Hulkenberg looking on his tyres? He should just still be able to bring those home. They're not in great condition, but he should be able to bring them home fairly comfortably, I would say, as Magnussen is trying to chase down Ocon. Gasly behind him. We can definitely afford to do some defensive work here. A virtual safety car, beautiful. Okay, this could be a good thing because we can get Magnussen in ahead of Russell. 15 laps to go. Okay, I'm feeling a strategy change here. Let's see what we've got. Scrub softs, but wise. Hulkenberg has a gap as well. If it goes full safety car, we're still in a good position. He doesn't have any fresh tyres, fresh softs, so he's going to go to a set of mediums, and he's going to push them, because that's just wisdom. We're just going to push the tyres as far as we can to the end. Let's see how we go here. It feels like this is a VSC is a smart way to take advantage of this. DRS disabled, of course. There's a crash out. I don't know who the Piastri is, the crash out there, turn 13. Okay, we will get in and out before George Russell. Even if George Russell hadn't pit, we'd still get there. But Russell has come in for the fresh tyres. He's realised as well he's going to have to be on better tyres. Gasly, we should catch up in 15 laps, to be honest. Hulkenberg should be able to catch up with Hamilton, maybe, on a fresh set of mediums. It'll be touch and go, but should be achievable. Let's make sure we're conserving all of our stuff while we're doing it. That's a good idea. We'll conserve these softs as best we can, and we'll conserve the fuel. We will harvest up our ERS. We'll wait out the end of the virtual safety car. I think this will work out an absolute treat for us, because we should have everything we need to get ourselves pushed back up the field. I definitely told Hulkenberg to come in. I did. My brain. Right. We are good to go here. We are going to try and have those tyres up to temp before we get to the line. In fact, let's bring those up as well, just to be on the safe side. Where are we at on tyres? Tyre left, we can go attack. We can go attack on those. that'll be absolutely golden. We are just waiting for the VSC to get cleared, and we've saved back the fuel, which is nice. We've clawed back all the fuel we needed to. We've probably got a little bit to do some pushing with to help us get back involved with Gasly as well. That will do us nicely. In fact, let's limit the amount of fuel we're saving now. That's a good idea. And then hopefully, once we get ourselves back to racing, we should be in a good position to get ourselves going. 13 laps, definitely enough time to clear an 8-second gap on freshest-ish softs. Gasly, what's he doing tyre-wise? Virtual safety car ending. We're on fairly equal tyres with Gasly now. Good stuff. Right, let's go push. Let's get ourselves ready to deploy. His ERS is definitely not charging as well as it should be. That's going to be a concern, but it's not a concern for right now because it's time to go racing. Hopefully, we are going to come to the end of the race. It's going to look really good. That's my plan. We'll see what happens. We've not really got the tyres fully up to temp. We've got a green flag. Virtual safety car ended. Fuel is being burnt. Let's start hunting down the Alpines ahead of us. That's our plan. We've taken 2.5 seconds out already. That's gone very nicely. How are the tyres? They're cold, buddy, but you keep pushing and they'll come back to you. That much I promise you. And we might even get a cheeky fastest lap out of this. It's very possible that we could. We are going to be certainly close to it. Battery is drained, that's fine. We did everything we need to do on the battery. We've got ourselves back in contention for things. That's good. Hulkenberg is catching Hamilton. That's also nice. That will help somewhere with confidence. If nothing else, fuel he needs to start conserving again. That's fine. Magnussen doesn't quite need to start conserving yet, but he will do shortly. And as soon as he does, we'll be in a good position. So let's get ourselves into conserve fuel mode. We'll be good there. The gap is still sort of coming down. That's also very nice. We're going to save up all of our battery for one last run towards the end. Where are we at tyres-wise on this one? We should be good. In fact, we could probably go aggressive. That's fine. Tyres are slightly overheating for Hulkenberg. That's expected because we told him to do that. So I'd be worried if they weren't. Let's speed things up again. We are going to chase down Gasly. I promise you, we are going to chase down Pierre Gasly and we're going to pass an Alpine. That is my plan. That's what we're going to try and achieve. It's a lofty goal, I grant you, but we are going to try and achieve it. 4 laps to go. We should be able to get there. Yellow flag was out there. That's not going to have helped at all. We've had to slow down. Another yellow flag out. But Carlos Sainz has had a spin. He hasn't dropped out of the lead, but he's had a spin. Sonoda's had a lock-up as well. That won't help us at all for anything. But we are getting closer. We are slowly getting closer, but we're getting closer. And hopefully we'll make something. It looks like Gasly's decided to push on, which is not helping at all. Okay, let's try and use the fuel we've got to try and get ourselves back in that contention again. Tyres will be overheating slightly, but that's not a big concern right now. What have we got tyre-wise? Have we got anything tyre-wise? Not really anything to push with. Okay, I said I promise you we were going to overtake Gasly. I lied. We're not going to overtake Gasly. We are very much relying on him having a moment to even get close to Gasly in this last couple of laps. We can see Gasly. It's not a case of we're not near him. We can see him. We just can't catch him. And that's going to be a problem. We've probably got enough tyre left to really push on the tyre. And let's try and deploy as well. Just try and get ourselves as close to Gasly as we can. If we can get ourselves in DRS range by the last time down the Camel Stroke, we might be okay. That's a very out of place Alfa Romeo. If we're lapping it, that's good times. We've been helped out a little bit to get closer to Gasly. We're not quite there, but we are closer. Hulkenberg, we're giving just a benefit of some pushing. Why not? I think he's on the last lap anyway, but we'll give him some push and see how that goes. Magnussen is starting to close in Gasly. I don't know if he'll be able to catch up that entire gap before the flag. I think it's probably been a little bit too late. I think it would take a mistake from someone ahead to get us more points than we're going to get today. But we've scored points consistently all weekend. That really is the key thing for us. Is we have consistently scored this weekend. we've done well. We've stayed largely in one piece, and we've not destroyed a front wing yet that I recall. So the front wings we built before the race, to make sure both cars could have one, will be intact. We might leave this place with a little bit of cash, which would help, and hopefully that'll be all she wrote for us. We'll deploy the rest of the battery. Why not? There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to gain either. We'll deploy it anyway, just so we can make that gap to Albon look a bit more respectable. It's going to be close here. Go full push on the fuel because we have a little bit left to use. I don't know if we're going to go for a last dive at the chicane. We have gone for a last dive. We haven't quite made it stick. We're going for a dive on a back marker. I was like, boys, come on! Like that's closing a gap a bit too fast. It didn't happen. Anyway, either way, we've done well. We've got points. We are not ahead of the Alpines going into the break, but ultimately, I'm going to call that something resembling a success.
As we've come to expect from Kevin Magnussen, that was a really good drive today.
I think they'll be pretty satisfied with this result. They bagged some points and they're going to be pleased with their finish.
And Carlos Sainz heading up to the podium now, the Spaniard adding another to his record.
What an excellent way to take a second win of the season with a composed performance today.
And there you have it, a smiley podium lineup at the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, Karun, I'd be really keen to know, how do you think the Haas team will be reflecting on today's results?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
That is that for this weekend's F1 action here in Belgium.
For the next round, Formula One won't be straying too far. We'll be heading to the dunes of Zandvoort and the lightning speed of the Dutch Grand Prix.
So, Zandvoort next then for the F1 circus. That's what we've learned today. Confirming your results, Sainz takes the win. Leclerc and Verstappen make it the rest of the pole. Fernando Alonso gains 10 places back to finish 4th. Got to be driver of the day there. Sergio Perez, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen and Russell make up the rest of the point scorers. In the Drivers' Championship, it looks like Ocon has overtaken Hülkenberg for 9th, which is a concern for us. Verstappen and Perez, of course, leading the way from Leclerc and Sainz, with Alonso making some good points up. Gasly just behind Hülkenberg. Magnussen stays in 12th, and then it's just piecemeal points for the drivers behind. Constructors-wise, we have dropped, we've dropped 8 points to Alpine this weekend, putting us 10 points behind them. We are going to have to buck our ideas up. Coming out of the summer break, which we'll go through in the next race, looking at the fastest pit stops, we have not made the leaderboard today, which, not a shock, 2.25 for Yuki Tsunoda though. That will help AlphaTauri out. They are pretty consistently good with the pit stops, it's got to be said. We're still not bottom though, somehow. Our fastest pit stop was a 2:3:90 today, which would have put us in there. Was that our fastest pit stop of the day? Maybe of the day. There we go. So that must be our fastest pit stop of the season. We were not far off. We were just not there. Okay, good stuff. Right, K-Mag is done well. Hülkenberg has done well. Our reserve driver has done no driving because it breaks the game when you use Pietro Fittipaldi. And we have made some money. Okay, we have money in the bank. I can build some front wings. That's going to be a big, big boost to us going into the next race. I'm going to do that now before I forget, because I will forget. And I would like to make sure we have some more front wings to be trucking on with after the break. We'll use the summer break to largely just build any new parts we haven't done yet. To the point, well, at least as far as the money goes. Right, our target position is 6th. We're currently 6th. Our long-term progress is to score podiums in 25% of this season's races in 2027. Okay, I mean, that's some time away. We can do that. We've been given 750,000 based on our medium board confidence. Okay, that's not really helpful, but thanks, boys. that we'll see how that goes. Right, we'll look at the emails in a second. We need to get the car parts on the car, get the car parts built to go on the car, because that's going to be a real concern for us. Manufacturing, hopefully I can set up the manufacturing. Now I can. Good, right, front wings. It says I need to build, I can't build a chassis because we're currently building a chassis. Right, let's do, Jesus, these are expensive. We've got a load of time to the next race anyway. Let's do 4 of those for now. I'm hoping there's more cash going to come in. We'll do 4 of those for now. Let's see what's missing on the second car. It's going to be a rear wing. We should have another one of those. Hiding. Oh, God. We don't have enough of those hiding out. Excellent. Okay, we're going to have to build some more rear wings as well. That makes me feel significantly better. No, we don't have any rear wings to use for after the break. We're gonna work on it. Next episode, we'll work on it. We'll build our way back up to having some stock of some things. That's our plan. Stock of things is where we're going. Right, guys, thanks for watching. I have, as always, been Chasing Lonely. Apologies, this episode has been very long. I know it's been very long. I'm getting back into the swing of things. Should point out there was probably nothing of use in the inbox because I did mention it and it will annoy people I didn't look. Okay, right, thanks for watching, guys. I shall see you very soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Until next time, stay safe and have a good one.